Hi, I'm George Rust. Do you remember those professors who used to say things like, back in the days before penicillin? I used to think those guys were so old. Well, now I am that old guy. And one of the things I've had to learn is that the stuff I learned in medical school isn't going to work very well right now. It turns out peptic ulcers are caused by a bacteria. If I had answered that way on a medical school exam, I'd have flunked for sure. Funny how things change. And now I say things like, back when beta blockers were just coming online, or when we got new calcium channel blockers like Procardia or nifedipine, or back before we knew that AIDS was a disease. Well, you can see that my clinical knowledge needed a little updating over the years. And I learned early on how to be a lifelong constant learner. When I was a fourth-year chief resident at Cook County Hospital, I had graduated from the residency program, felt pretty good about my clinical skills, pretty confident, but I knew there were areas that I didn't know enough about, that I felt a little weak in. And so I scheduled myself to be the teacher to our other residents every 2 weeks. And I would pick a topic that I didn't know enough about. And so I had 2 weeks to go and learn everything I could about it, and learn it so well that I could teach it to other people. One of those areas that I felt weak in was EKG interpretation. I just didn't have the right strategy. I felt like I was missing things that other people were seeing. And so I read everything I could get my hands on. I looked at books that were written at much simpler levels than the ones they write for MDs. I learned to find people who organized the material well, and well enough that I could teach it to others. And now, it turns out that's one of the more popular lectures that I can give, is how to interpret EKGs. Obviously, we all need to keep up on our clinical skills. But there are lots of other skills we need to learn along the way as well. For example, nobody taught me how to teach in medical school. And so in our faculty development program, we teach people how to teach. And it was incredibly humbling to me to have people like Dr. Ted Smith, who had been Teacher of the Year, won Teacher of the Year awards repeatedly, have him show up in our faculty development teaching 101 class saying, I want to learn how to be a better teacher. But of course, that's what made him a great teacher. He was always trying to learn how to be a better teacher, and better, and better, and better, and better. That's what we all need to be doing. And there's so many skills that we didn't learn in medical school, whether it's how to manage physicians, how to manage a budget, how to manage a team and be a leader, how to do research, how to write papers, how to do scholarship. And so I've had to take courses in biostatistics. I'm certainly not an expert, but I'm functionally literate now in that space, taking summer courses at Johns Hopkins or University of Michigan just for a week or two at a time, or taking online courses from Coursera, or just buying books that I didn't completely understand and trying to learn. Obviously, I've also had to keep my clinical skills up, and continuing education and maintenance of certification requirements all force me to do that. Taking a board exam every 7 to 10 years is a great way to concentrate the mind. And those are good disciplines for making sure that we don't slip behind in our knowledge of clinical medicine. When my grandfather passed away, he was 78 years old, had leukemia, retired orthopedic surgeon, had been retired for many, many years. We found next to his bed a set of cassette tapes on how to learn Spanish. He was trying to learn to speak Spanish at that point in his life, with no earthly chance of going overseas ever or using Spanish in any reasonable context. But he loved learning, and he found it interesting and stimulating to the mind. And so he chose to continue to learn right up to his last days. All of us have that opportunity. He taught me about lifelong learning, and now I'm hoping to encourage all of you. Keep on learning and keep on teaching. To teach is to learn twice. Thanks.